So Matt, regular church-going people are harmless little puppies,
Yeah.
and he would say they're not so much irrational, but I would say what, delusional?
Yeah, yeah, definitely delusional. And you probably would say irrational.
But they don't know why they're. I mean, I think he would say he would apply rationality to people who study it and know what's being taught, rather than people who I would think he would think they're sheep that are just
Yeah.
being fed
Yep.
a line of baloney and they're just like eating it, you know, because they
Yep.
need some sort of hope, or they like holidays that
Yep.
festive, you know. That's what I think he would think of them as, not necessarily like an irrational being, because you need to employ your reason in order to be irrational, or employ your reason in a wrong way to be irrational. But I think he thinks they're just naive and childlike and deluded.
Yeah, it seems like he still has some kind of disdain for the average churchgoer. Not so much like these are horrible threats to society per se. Maybe I kind of heard conflicting things about that, but more like you are not doing your duty as a human being to use your reason properly. You're believing things without reasons, and you ought not to do that. He's a very strong sense of this uh, sort of intellectual virtue, where you bite the bullet, and if the universe is all there is, and that's just it, and you're just this cosmic speck, just you need to accept that. That's what brave human beings do. Instead of just wishing for some being in the sky who's going to make you happy and get to see your family again after you die and take you to this magical place. Like that's a weak-minded person.
And yeah, he seems very heck bent. Can I say that? Heck bent on making people realize how meaningless and devoid of purpose life is. So he's a strong evangelical um, fundamentalist in that regard, I think.
He does
So
interest.
kudos to him.
I mean, he does actually interestingly think that there is some kind of purpose and meaning in pursuing knowledge of the universe, right? So
Mhm.
there is this awe and wonder that he sees. In fact, he calls this thing like this gift of life and this gift of knowledge. Interestingly enough, he uses those terms, but he sees that in a pretty magical way, a pretty, uh, I don't know, almost a religious way.
Okay. Well, hey, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I just feel like, I mean, that wonder is great, but taken to a metaphysical level, I don't think
Yeah, there's no
the,
cosmic meaning, right?
no,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So, and ultimately, when you look at the universe, the physical material universe, and I think he would believe this because he's a scientist, he's an evolutionary biologist, that the universe is all we have. It's spinning towards, you know, its end, and
yep,
at the end, everything will die of heat death.
yep.
So, whether you are a good person or a bad person, or whether you had a great life or not a great life, it amounts to the same thing in the end.
In the end, yeah, you're right. And I think he would say, I'm just trying to flesh out a little bit how he would cash that out, I think. Flesh out how he would cash that out.
Yeah.
No, because I think you're right. I think he would say something like, in the end, it doesn't really matter. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't matter now. Like, it does matter. But there
Yeah.
is no ultimate cosmic meaning, purpose. There's no ultimate, like, outside of humanity imposed on us kind of meaning or purpose or final end, that kind of thing.
I think he would think there was some sort of mental handicap on my part for thinking that there needs to be some sort of purpose, ultimate purpose in life.
Yeah, I don't
Would you
know.
say that?
Yeah, yeah. I think he would. I just trying to think of maybe the reason he would give for that. I mean, there would, I think, that be that disdain of you're weak minded. Yeah, you still want to
Yeah.
live in some kind of fantasy land. And that's really popular among internet atheists too. I mean, you know this. You watch internet atheists, and there's this disdain. It's not just like a I disagree with you, but I can kind of understand why you might believe this. It's a disdain. It's like this. You're like a Neanderthal. Like,
Well, I had my ancestry done, and there was no Neanderthal in my genetic. So
wow.
I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not.
Wow.
So
You're not a
mostly
Neanderthal,
British.
nor the descendant of a Neanderthal,
No, I'm mostly British.
huh?
Me and Dawkins have something in common.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.